alles voor je website. Oh, look at that! That's going to be a picture. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, most likely probably all gentlemen, but it doesn't matter, you're all here for the racing line. We are back for the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega. We are broadcasting on the Racing Line YouTube channel and Twitch, and I'm your commentator, Jack Johns, and welcome to Media Day for Season 4? Season 4 of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup at Lime Rock Park, West Bend. I don't know what you're talking about, Stephen King. If you're going to keep comments like that, I don't get it. Don't forget to like, boys and girls, says Chris Wilson. So many of you in chat already, which is good to see on a Friday night. I saw Biggie Morello on Twitch chat straight away. Well done. Good to see you. Yes, look what's back. Glad you could join us. Austin Farr then popped off of a few... do you know what? I didn't read it right at first, but I'm guessing it's... There we go. Piccolo Bambini on Twitch chat says, oh my god. And Mad John's in chat. Vanolst is in chat. Just Evo Things. Mr. Wallace is in chat. Says, yes. Stephen King says he needs glasses. Not my problem. Kid named chat. Anyway. I'm sure you can hear some diesel engines in the background. Shall we have a look at our famous favourite machines from practice of this day? Where are they all? There they are. 3x3 formation. The orange car's missing one. Should we go through our teams? I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, Mr. King. Like, I don't... there's nothing on my end that's showing. It says 60 frames per second. Everything looks as usual. I can check YouTube if you want me to pause it right here. Watch this. Well, you're making me check. You're making me check it now. So blame Stephen King for this, guys. It's gonna make me watch adverts. Watch this.
Hey, wat is jouw auto waard? Ga naar wijkopenauto's.nl. Daar wordt...
Oh dear. Bear with me. Hopefully... Oh, 23 Kev says looks good to me on YouTube. Just Evo Things says looks fine to me. And even Andre Marek says I'm getting 1080p. So it looks like the person who works for Haas F1 team working on their IT system needs to update his computer, because it also looks fine on my end. Not blaming you, Mr. King, for Haas's results, but it's an idea. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Thank you, Chris Wilson and everyone else who helped me out there. So, we can see some cars on the grid. Leading the way is last season's champion, Season 3's champions, Pulsus Esports, with an unchanged lineup. That is Stephen King, Joshua Germany, and Timu Toika. Behind them are the Street Casuals team with an updated livery and a slightly updated lineup. That is Henry Morse and Austin Farr returning, a very strong pairing in America, who are both in chat. And a new driver joining us this season, Swiss driver Andy Schwind. I'm sure Jerry will be in chat telling me to say that properly, but that's as best as I can do. Eric Manitveld jumping ship last minute with a driver change. Next up is the orange team, which has last season's runner-up, I think, if I remember rightly, Jake Cranston, two-time Jetta Cup champion Jake Cranston. This is where practice is about to end. Watch this. This is going to be absolute chaos. They're like wasps, bees, everyone piling into each other. I'm not going to be able to get through all the team. Look at all this. Look at this chaos. Who wants to see trees when we got this? Whoa, who's this? Viking Raiders getting on the map. That is, that's new driver Marcus Gjesdal. The Norwegian driver who's joining us for the first time this season. This is not what the races are like, guys. Don't worry. Whoa! ORD going for... Oh, no. If the races are like this, I'm actually going to cry. I don't think they are. I'm sure the results will be fine. Anyway, qualifying's about to start, but I'll continue to go through the teams and stuff that we have this season. So, 8 minutes on the clock. And it looks like this, and they'll all come flying out the pit lane as they usually do. In Jake Cranston leading the way out the pit lane straight away. Ignore the lap times. They haven't set a lap time just yet. In fact, I'll delete that until they actually do set a lap time. That will update when they go round. So, teams that we have this season. Pulsar Esports we've gone through. Masters of Talk was where we were at. Jake Cranston, two-time Jetta Cup champion, who we just saw leading the way out the pits. There he is in the Masters of Talk car. Bright orange, unchanged livery. In fact, Jerry Agard's in chat. He was the one Masters of Talk car that was missing on this day. Donnie Henriksen and Jake Cranston. Is this an unchanged lineup? Have I forgotten who drove for them last season? Maybe, but I believe it is an unchanged lineup, if I'm not mistaken. We did an entire lap in formation, and all you show is Pulsus and the orange team. You want me to rewind? I just... I can't go back. I can't go back on these unlive things. Although I feel like we should now. Maybe we will. Let's see how qualifying goes. ORD... Speaking of Andre Marek, ORD are, of course, returning. A long-term team headed by Dan Thornton, who is out on track. We see Patrick Dupart. This is also an unchanged lineup, and honestly, a lineup that I think gets stronger every season. Patrick Dupart has done nothing but get better. We can see him right now on track in the blue ORD machine, the number 23. And Andre Marek, often regarded as one of the cleanest drivers on the grid. And not as a joke, not sarcastic. Very much keeps himself out of trouble most of the time. Jan Weiswanger in chat says hello, guys. Hello to you, Jan Weiswanger. Zero Forks Giving are on track, making a return. They have the lineup of Gregory Otley, Martin Wallace, who leads the team, and a new driver joining them, Ruslan Kamedalin from the UAE in the number 77 machine, looking to see how he fares against some of the best Jetta drivers on iRacing in the world. I'm not going to let that go because I believe it to be true. Win it or bin it. Let's talk about them, since John Bailiff goes to the near to the top of the time sheets. Very close between those cars. John Bailiff obviously returns with win it or bin it with a slightly different lineup, I think. Kyle Ridley, the Australian driver, drives for them once again. And then Kieran Dempsey, the Irish driver, joining their team, swapping from his Pulsus debut in the RLTC. Rumour has it Pulsus tried to re-recruit him. Ended up being the same lineup with the return of the Finnish driver Timu Toika. Win it or bin it seem to have a, in fact, no connection to Win It or Bin It. Is a team called Send It and Bend It, headed by Stephen Burns, who have taken some of Win It or Bin It drivers. For example, Andy Fox will be driving for Send It and Bend It as well. That is not Andy Fox, that is Jan Weiswanger. Andy Fox must have moved as I clicked his name. There he is. Number 21 returning. And the other Send It or Bend It car, I said he jumped ship from Street Casuals. It is Eric Manenveld, known in the Discord as the Based Dutchman. Heading a train here. He's got a car behind him that looks familiar, though they had a lot of fans last season. I wonder if that will continue. Behind Mr. Manenveld there was the number 92 machine of the Belgian driver Sam Bernals. Goldwing with an unchanged livery and an unchanged lineup returning. Number 92 machine, like I said, driven by Sam. The number 33 machine driven by Duncan Murray, the South African driver, and Daniel Downing, the British driver, in the number 17 Mobile. Meatball Motorsport return with Sebastian Holmichael, the German driver, Jan Weiswanger, the German driver, and their third driver, I'm going to have to find him. Is he on track? Did he come to this race? I don't know if I can see him. Meatball Motorsport. Who is the third driver at Meatball Motorsport? Tim Rutten, of course. Tim Rutten was the Meatball Motorsport third driver. And your mic sounds like you dropped it in the toilet and closed the lid. Back me up. Let me know if that's true. Yes, Tim Rutten was the third driver of Meatball Motorsport. No show for them. So that's two teams that had one driver missing. I think there's 33 cars out there. So there's one other driver missing. I'm sure we will find at some point. This is a new team. Thank you, Austin Farr and Biggie Morello. This is a new team. This is Parallel Racing Group. And they have 3 drivers. One of them being the reigning champion, the new reigning champion, Morgan Burkhardt, will be donning the number 1 car this season. Loic Thon, a new driver to the season, is also one of those drivers. And a familiar name in Alejandro Caraday will also be driving for Parallel Racing Group, the number 55. Speaking of Alejandro Caraday, Lurchers Gaming returned to the grid, another fan favourite. That is number 84, Ika Lequay. And then the number 59, David Corpus. And Jesus Amundere would be the other missing driver. He is also not there. I feel like I'm going to miss a team, and that is going to be absolutely tragic. We can't not talk about new team, Viking Raiders, named after the Norwegian Vikings, I guess, since they've got 2 Norwegian drivers. Matt Sanderson makes his Jetta Cup debut, with a new driver joining us under the name of Marcus Gjesdal, another Norwegian driver, and joining them for Viking Raiders, an ORD driver, Joseph Gibson, the number 91 machine. There he is. Kind of like that livery. Do like that livery. Have I missed out a team? I'm looking, and I think I've gone through all drivers. Dan Thornton's out on track. No, pretty sure I went through all of them. So now with 1 minute left of qualifying, let's have a look at this championship order, shall we? And the gap between them. What is qualifying looking like these days? It is Lime Rock West Bend. And impressive start to the season, even though it is media day. You have 33 drivers out on track. 2 of them have not set a time, so there's 31 times on the board. And they are separated by 1.1 seconds. Yes, it's a small track, but there are plenty of corners. There are plenty of braking zones. Jake Cranston continues where he left off and is currently on pole position. I think it's looking like it is going to stay that way. If we get the track map up to see who's going to finish laps. Henry Morse is right there. Is he going to improve on his time? He's just crossed the line. No, he doesn't. He stays second, does Henry Morse, and Patrick Dupart gets a top 3 as well. Dan Downing for Goldwing is in P4. Andre Marek P5 with John Bailiff in P6. Joshua Germany has an alright qualifying there in P7 for the number 4 car. The lead Pulsar's car with Kyle Ridley in P8. Austin Farr and Kieran Dempsey rounding off your top 10. Don't know why I went through them so much, because we can. I'm sure the grid function works on this. Let's have a look at that grid. So Jake Cranston takes the first pole position, not official, but there he is on pole once again. Henry Morse, Patrick Dupart, Dan Downing. It's a Street Casuals Masters of Talk front row, ORD Goldwing Motorsports second row, Mayerek and Bailiff, ORD Win It or Bin It, Pulsus and Win It or Bin It. Oh, Win It or Bin It have done well there. Look, 6th, 8th and 10th. That could be worrying. Depends how you drive, Andre. Plenty of braking zones. I brake everywhere. Austin Farr, P9 in the top 10. Kieran Dempsey, Andy Geschwind for Street Casuals up there in P11. That's a good effort for the debutant Swiss driver. Martin Wallace in P12, loving Lime Rock. Marcus Gjesdal in P13 on his first official qualifying session for Media Day. Duncan Murray, Greg Otley, Matt Sanderson, David Corpus, Andy Fox, Sam Van Olsen, Donny Henriksen round off your top 20. Timu Toyka, Stephen Burns, Loic Thon and Jan Weisfanger for your top 24. Eric Mannenfeld, Caraday, Lequay, Camadallin, Thornton, Gibson, Michael Burkhardt and Stephen King round off your field to make 33 drivers for this Media Day. Let's have a look at the old starter cam. We can get rid of that grid now, as I think the race is going to start shortly unless anyone hasn't gridded. Sam Van Olst has given me plenty of time to read out the names. Thank you for that, Sam Van Olst. Probably, if I know him, having a swig of his favourite beer, dude, or some sort of cigarette of some kind. Jake broke the all-in-ones Duncan Murray. Oh, I see. Who's the championship favourite? John says Duncan Murray. Martin says ZFG. Austin says Duncan Murray. Stephen King says Donkey, the cheeky little monkey. Who is my championship favourite? I don't want to be boring and say Cranston or Burkhardt. And I'm not going to, because the race is about to start and away they go. Look at all that puff of smoke. Great start for Gjesdal there in the number 51 machine as they all go down towards turn 1. And Jake Cranston does lead the way nice and cleanly in towards turn 1 and away he goes. I wonder if he's going to be challenged at this rate. Not sure, it's hard to say. Oh, big slide there as they went around. I'm not sure if they were off the circuit. Doesn't look like it. Everyone has just about survived as they're 3-4 wide. Oh, there we go. There it is. That's Dan Thornton, Ikleque and Alejandro Carade sideways round turn 2 and off they go. That is their first race. Maybe over. Jake Cranston still leads as they climb up the hill, and Patrick Dupart is up into P2, passing Henry Morse. Dan Downing still in P4. Bailiff, that's Germany and Majorek side by side behind as they go into the West Bend chicane. Majorek on the inside. Is anyone going to get a slowdown through here? It's a terrible corner for slowdowns, and they seem to have made it through, as does everyone. That's the 76 machine of Anderson going off onto the grass, down towards the final corner. Look at the Send It and Bend It cars all in formation. And there's a PRG car in the background. That will be Alejandro Carade down in 32nd place. But Jake Cranston crosses the line and goes towards turn 2. They're side by side in the background. That's Majorek and Ridley. Nearly 3 wide as they go towards turn 1. That's Austin far behind, trying to pick up the pieces of the ORD and win it or bin it cars. That's Ridley and Majorek still side by side through turn 2. Majorek keeps his nose on the inside, but Ridley sweeps just in front towards turn 2 and down towards turn 3. Not Henry Morse, that's Austin Farr's Street Casuals machine there in P9, keeping it clean and no worries for him. Kieran Dempsey still in P10, and Wallace and Otley just hoping that something kicks off ahead of them so ZFG can move up the order. They're already up a few places. Wallace is up 1. Greg Otley's gained 3 positions on this opening lap, and Austin Farr looks towards the inside, sends it down the inside of Andre Majorek. Can he get it done? Tries to keep his nose there. Andre gives him room. Kieran Dempsey might have lost out here. Austin Farr down the inside of Dempsey, who I think was actually trying to pass Austin Farr. I take that back. Dempsey trying to hold it around the outside. Can't quite get it done. Farr closes the door. Majorek may have a slowdown as he shoots across to the right-hand side of the circuit. He does. He's going to lift off. He's going to brake. He serves it, and he loses a number of positions. 1, 2, 3, 4 positions down to P12. And look who he's got behind him. Apparent championship favourite, Donkey the cheeky little monkey. There he goes, and that's Marcus Gjesdal up into P12. Now, the only thing I do know about today's race is a small mistake on my end. It is meant to be a reverse 16 this season for those of you joining us and have seen us before. It's normally reverse 12. Season 4, we've updated it. It's a reverse 16. The one session that I did not update that to is this media day. So I do know, unfortunately, about that mistake. It is a reverse 12 for this race only. The rest of the races will be a reverse 16, I swear. Already checked, already done. That's Teemu Toika up 3 places. I'll tell you who we should check in with. I think it's probably too late and they'll be a little bit annoyed because they've gained 11 and 12 places. It's Morgan Burkhardt and Stephen King who started dead last. They're already up to 22nd and 20th place, but that charge can only continue as Teemu Toika and Henriksen move over with a slowdown. Eric Manenveld has been in the pits already. Morgan Burkhardt, who's next on his list? He's now up into 17th. Is the reigning champion Morgan Burkhardt as he goes through turn 1. We're now sitting on top of his Parallel Racing Group car, and he's next up on his list is Stephen Burns, Corpus and Murray. That'll be a fun little gaggle of cars to catch up to. How's Stephen King doing on his charge? He's got Donnie Henriksen with the number plate EZ69420 in front of him. Andy Fox and Teemu Toika seem to be going at it. Who's this fighting around? Oh, Andy Fox is in a heap of trouble here as Ruslan goes down the inside of the fast sweeper. Fox is going to wash out wide. They're side by side. Look at the speed of the diesel machines as they come up the hill. Gibson now looking down the inside of the West Bend chicane. Fox is offline. He's in trouble here. Loic Thon gives him a little bit of a tap from behind. And the Meatball Motorsport has a look as well up the inside. That's the 69 car of Sebastian Holmichael trying to get involved as they come down the hill. Loic Thon survives. Farr and Ridley have been swapping over. I think Ridley's got a slowdown. He does. Martin Wallace and Otley are going to try and come through. Wallace swoops around the outside, but Ridley's going to keep it. Is he still got his slowdown? Look at him tapping the brakes mid-corner there. That could be a penalty if this was an official round. Some would say that he might still have his slowdown, but Wallace is on the inside for turn 2. Who's going to come out on top in this fight? Ridley in P8, Wallace in P9. Otley's trying to follow one of them through, and Dempsey's going to get involved as well. It's 2 ZFGs versus 2 Win It or Bin It's as they go down towards the fast sweeper, and Otley comes through, passes Wallace, and Dempsey's going to follow him through as well, I think, or try, but he backs out of that move and keeps his nose for another day. Morgan Burkhardt's still in P17. Has he closed that gap? It looks like he has. This is now how close he is to the gaggle of cars ahead as we see Andre Majorek down the inside of Duncan Murray, the Goldwing car up ahead. And look how Morgan's nice and smooth through that West Bend chicane. And look, no one knows where to go. They're almost free wide as they go down towards the flat-out final corner. The Lurchers car of David Corpus is getting trouble on the left-hand side there. Stephen Burns on his left. This is on board Morgan Burkhardt as they're free wide down the straight. There he is. Oh, and there's a slowdown for ZFG. Martin Wallace in the middle. Morgan Burkhardt down the inside of Majorek. Still free wide down towards turn 1. Corpus is off. Gestel's off wide through turn 1. Murray is leading this train now, and Morgan Burkhardt goes up into P12 in a matter of one main straight. The Sam Posey straight, I think it's called. Great stuff. Little bit of a mess in terms of people serving slowdowns. Martin Wallace was in the right place. If someone else had one, they couldn't really get over to the right because Morgan forced an overtake there. Stephen King, I don't think, is going to charge up much. Can he get through that gaggle? I don't know. Is he going to charge up much more than that? Was Morgan helped by those slowdowns? I do not know. He has passed Timu Toika, his teammate, up 14 places. Ruslan's up 7. Joseph Gibson is up 8 places. But the biggest gainer so far is, of course, reigning champion Morgan-based Burkhardt, who is up 20 positions. King has just passed Gjesdal on the timing screens down towards the final corner. And it looks like he's going to try and pass Anderson around the outside of turn 1 here as well as we approach the halfway stage of the sprint race. I'm running out of breath already. Oh, forced out wide. Stephen King was there by Mats Anderson. And Timu Toika says, thank you very much. I'll come through and take that then. That overtake was ridiculous before I blocked him in, says Stephen Burns. Yes, it was. I'm glad I caught it on camera, since we know what replays are like on a replayed session. It's good to be back, guys. Enjoying this. Should we go to the front? This is what it looks like. Jake Cranston, 1.1 seconds in the lead. Patrick Dupart still holding on to P2 with Henry Morse P3 and John Bailiff P4. John Bailiff. Oh, Henry Morse has a slowdown. There he goes. And Joshua Germany might be passing him here. And is Dan Downing going to come through as well? He is. Henry Morse loses another position, and Austin Farr is going to hold station, I imagine. Yes, he does. The Street Casuals stay as they are. Carl Ridley and Greg Otley and Dempsey still together. Duncan Murray behind. Morgan Burkhardt is chasing Duncan Murray. Let's go behind Duncan Murray's machine. I wonder what Duncan's feeling right now. I've got the champion behind me. There he is. Duncan Murray, the number 1 car, all over his rear. Doggone racing, it says on the front of that car. Oh, up the inside goes Morgan Burkhardt of the fast sweeper. Duncan nearly comes straight back on. Morgan aware of it, but he's on the inside for the West Bend chicane. This looks like a done deal. I would have thought so. It looks like it may be. And it's done. There we go. Morgan Burkhardt's through. He's up into P11. John Bailiff and Patrick Dupart swapping over. Is that a slowdown for one of them? I think it might be, because Dupart's dropped down the order. Germany and Downing side by side into turn 1. Have a look at the old drone cam. I missed the drone. Not all the circuits have this camera, but there we go. Joshua Germany and Dan Downing stay in order. And look at the Street Casuals cars in formation behind. And there we go. A lovely shot of some 2D trees. It's been a while. I can't really catch up on chat because there's too much going on. What are we going on here? Whoa, was that Duncan in the booth just then? Oh, thank you, Austin, because of my impression. Thanks for subscribing. Sam Egan says Stream Elements. That's cool that it tells me that. Well done, Sam. Good to have you. Austin Farr Racing says shout out Noah Benton for the drone cam. Yes, Noah Benton controlling our drone camera whilst talking non-stop, no matter who is having a conversation. Like an unskippable cutscene, people call that man, but it's alright, we don't have him in the booth. Not sure what happened to Sam Van Olst, but he is out of this race. Sorry to say. Dan Downing and Joshua Germany, though, are still going at it into turn 1. Geschwind and Thon, the two newbies, I think, just swapped over, but it's Loic Thon serving a slowdown, so no fights going on down there. The closest fight still is this foursome going through the second straight, which is curvy, towards the flat-out right-hander. Through they go. Dan Downing looking for a way to pass Joshua Germany. Can't find anywhere just yet. Sam Van Olst in chat says dead. Does not say how. Eric Mannitveld is chasing down Dan Thornton down the main straight. Dan Downing all over Josh's rear end there. Through that West Bend chicane as he goes down through the flat out corner. Gets a better exit through there. Josh may be scrubbing off speed, but moves over to defend. Dan Downing forced to the outside. I feel like this is take 3 for Mr. Downing in the Goldwing machine. He's going to give it another go. Through turn 1 they go. That was a fast camera angle. Joshua Germany holds the inside, and Henry Morse is looking to come through as well. I think Joshua Germany's going to hold it, and Henry Morse does stay side by side on the exit, but he can't go around the outside of turn 2. Surely he tries, and there's contact on the rear, maybe a meatball, and now Austin Farr is thinking, okay, that was your mistake, Henry. I think I want to come through now, please. Let me lead. And they do swap over positions. Austin Farr now the lead Street Casuals car. He can have a go at Dan Downing. If only Mercedes tried this with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton at Singapore, but they don't know. They don't have a clear number 1. These two working together. My car was broken after lap 2, but I limped to the end, said Jan Weiswanger, who is currently in 28th place. He has Donny Henriksen up the road and Mats Anderson behind him, who's down 13 places in qualifying. Who is our biggest loser of the race? I think it is Sam Van Olst down 14, but Mats Anderson and Andy Geschwind are down 13 places apiece. Morgan Burkhardt up 21 positions for the start of this race. Obviously, being media day, he wanted a bit of fun. Donny Henriksen has just had a crash. Since it was so soon, shall we have a look at what happened? Oh, it looks like he's already got damage there, so I think he has just pulled over and called it a day there, actually. Yes, there he goes. Okay, and let's continue as we were. Not sure. It didn't say anything. Oh, wait, hang on. What's this? Nope. Sorry. Didn't mean to do that. He, look, you can see his front right there, yeah. And then he just chucks it. Pulls over. Says, engine broken, I'm done, I give up. Dan Downing still within a 10th of Joshua Germany. This is on board Mr. Downing. Reaching speeds of 193 kilometers down the back straight. Didn't force a side-by-side this time. Tucked in behind. Can he force Germany into a mistake? I would have thought Josh would have been happy with a result like this. You can see the 2 stars on the back of the Pulsar's car there representing the 2 teams championships that they've won over the 3 seasons. Season 1 champions, Masters of Torque Season 2 champions, and then Pulsar's returning to the top step with this lineup in Season 3. Teams championship is going to be extremely tight or tough this season, I reckon. As the oh, that looks... is he wiggling on purpose, or was that contact that caused that? Forces him round the outside, does Germany, to potentially give him a slowdown. And it looks like he's under pressure from Austin Farr as he sweeps down the final corner. That's going to force Dan tight. He's going to scrub a bit more speed than he wants through that final turn. And I believe that might be it for Dan Downing and Austin Farr's fight. Austin Farr does gain the position, and up into the top 5 he goes. Dan Downing has to be frustrated with losing a position. Oh, there's some cars off there. That'll be Eric Manenfeld and Dan Thornton. Shall we find out what happened to them? They're going towards turn 1. Ooh, I mean, from that angle, it was very much, and I think that's why Eric Manenfeld waited for him. I think he's taken the blame for that one himself, which is fair, because it did look like it was just Eric losing a bit of maybe his brakes overheated. Down towards turn 1. Continuing with this fight then, Joshua Germany, Austin Farr and Dan Downing. P4, 5 and 6. the battle for fourth. Henry Morse trying to catch back up. He's about a second back at the moment. Ridley even further back than that as they disappear off into the distance. Through up the hill. Joshua Germany defending the middle of the circuit. Dan Downing. Oh, is that a slowdown for Dan Downing? Maybe even Austin Farr as well. They both cut those curves a little bit much from what I just saw then. And we've got Andre Majorek here under pressure as well from Corpus, Burns and Murray. I think he's just been passed by Morgan Burkhardt, or maybe Morgan was just flashing in and out on my screen with some connection issues. But Corpus is going to come through and go up into P13? 14. Burns has kept the position, I believe. Yep, on the inside is Stephen Burns. And we're on the final lap of this sprint race, and Duncan Murray is round and off. Oh no, Duncan Murray. Because, do you know what? I'm going to rewind. Don't care. I want to see it. I want to see what happened to the gold machine. It looked like a Pulsar's car, which will be Timu Toika. Duncan Murray. Should we go onto the drone cam? It'll give us a good view, shall we? Here we go. What just happened to Duncan on the last lap of this sprint race? Timu Toika all over his rear end into turn 1. Oh no! He's out. He's going down the order. Final lap, and look at all these cars coming through. Oh, what a rejoin in front of the Viking Raiders boys and the Meatball Motorsport cars. Jake Cranston, John Bailiff and Patrick Dupart are heading into the West Bend chicane, but Duncan Murray has had an absolute nightmare. It's over. It's over. Dude, it's all done. Andy Gushwin's going to have a look down the inside of the fast right. Taps him round. And Duncan Murray's day goes from bad to worse on the final lap. Jake Cranston is about to cross the line, spins it round, wins the media day race. John Bailiff comes home in P2 with Patrick Dupart P3. And who's going to finish P4? It is the number 4 car. Joshua Germany just about crosses the line in front of Austin Farr. They do not do this across every finish line. I'm guessing it's just media day antics. They will bring it home in round 1, which will be Barber Motorsport. There's your calendar, guys, for those joining us for the first time. Media Day, Lime Rock West Bend, that's where we are right now. Round 1, which will be on Monday. Barber Motorsports Park. The stream will be on Fridays. I think Fridays is a good shout. I didn't expect to see so many of you here. Fridays is probably preferred to Sunday mornings. And it's good to see Biggie Morello and Landino and others coming in to watch. So Friday evenings, guys, let's do it. Let's commit to the streams then. Barber Motorsports Park will be watchable next Friday, followed by Summit Point Raceway the week after that, and Canadian Tire Motorsports Park the week after that, and all-American calendar. We then go for one break week before heading to the quadruple header of Virginia International Raceway. That will be a long one. Low amount of laps, but a long circuit. Watkins Glen International, that is the layout with no chicane and the cup layout, so it's very fast circuit. Sam Van Os will be happy with that one. Road Atlanta we return to, which we've been to a couple of times. Always great racing there. One of Jake Cranston's favourites, I believe. And then we go to the new circuit added to the iRacing service, Willow Springs Motorsports Park. Don't know what to expect there, to be honest. It's a great circuit, I know that much. I just don't know what to expect in terms of racing at Willow Springs. I want it to be great, as I'm sure everyone else does. Stephen King says P16 reverse pole. Oh, wait. Yeah, already mentioned that. No need to bring it up again. Duncan Murray, hello, have I died? Don't worry, it gets worse. Oh, that's good to hear. Stephen Burns, yeah, we were robbed. Would have tried for P12 if I knew. If people knew, everyone would have been P12. Yep. I mean, to finish P12, first you must finish P12, as Will Buxton would say. Eric Mannenveld, the only driver to come out during the warm-up. I think that deserves a little readout of Mr. Mannenveld's stats. Andre's comment made me laugh there. I fought hard for that P12 all the way from P5. Fair point. Where is Eric Manetveld on this stat sheet? There he is. Jetta Cup stats. Eric Manetveld. He has entered 1 Jetta Cup season out of 3. He has completed 20 races. He started 20 times. And he has 1 podium to his name. His highest finish is 3rd place. And his highest grid position is 3rd place. Can he improve on that in Season 4 when the grid gets ever stronger? Let's have a look at the results of that first race, shall we? And this will also tell us the grid for the next one. So, your media day sprint race, 14 laps. The next one's going to be a long one. Stephen King says, where can we see these statistics? I'm glad you asked, actually. We have a website, believe it or not. Some of you might know this, some of you might not know this. The website has been updated for over the last couple of weeks. It's looking very snazzy, still the same colour scheme and all that sort of stuff. It's just had a little bit of a visual overhaul. The Clio Cup pictures have been updated from our last season's racing, and now we're back with the Jetta Cup Season 4. Just go to theracingline.org, Duncan. I'll repeat, that is theracingline.org. You don't need a link because I believe you can spell theracingline.org. And guess what, Fleisch in is mine Gemuse? I don't need to spell it out for you, because if you look on your screens where the results are showing, in the bottom, in italics and bold and big writing, it says theracingline.org. That's our website. Go on there and you can catch up with all the statistics, all the results from the Jetta Cup, pictures from Jetta Cup RLTC, which is our Touring Car Championship, and the RLCC, which is our Clio Cup Championship. And it was great to see a lot of drivers jumping across and trying different cars. Anyway, Jake Cranston won this race from pole position. Didn't look like he was put under threat. John Bailiff made it up into P2. Is this John Bailiff's season? John Bailiff, the one who has been some people's favourite to win or to do well for many seasons past, but for some reason could only put together strong results in SimLab races but not Jetta Cup races. And here we are on media day with a P2. Is this an omen of things to come? Who knows? Patrick Depart gets a P3. Now, I said about Patrick being an ever-improving driver, and it's shown in not only the Jetta Cup but also the Boring Car Championship over on Chaz Draycott Media's channel. He just claims these race 1 podiums almost every time. He's really strong at qualifying, and he seems to be able to hold on to it just about in race 1s. Race 2s, I don't know what to say. Sometimes it goes well for him, sometimes it doesn't. Joshua Germany gets a P4, Henry Morse P5, Dan Downing, Carl Ridley, Austin Farr, Greg Otley up there in the top 10, Kieran Dempsey P10, Morgan Burkhardt 11th, and Andre Majorek P12. As they've said in chat, it is a reverse 12 for today. Round 1 will be a reverse 16, so technically Stephen King and Timu Toika, the Pulsar Esports drivers, should be on pole position. But for today, it's going to be Andre Majorek and Morgan Burkhardt on the front row. I think with Morgan on the front row, I can see that being a win for him if he races as he normally does. Kieran Dempsey, Greg Otley P3 and 4, Austin Farr and Carl Ridley will be P5 and 6, Dan Downing and Henry Morse P7 and 8. Joshua Germany and Depart will be starting P9 and 10, and John Bailiff and Jake Cranston will be starting P11 and 12. Everybody else will be starting where they finished. Stephen Burns 13th, Corpus 14th, Toika, King, Kamadulin and Wallace there, rounding off your top 18. And then the rest of the results, Gibson and Giesdal for Viking Raiders there in 19th and 20th. Holmarkel, LeQuay, Fox, Thon, Schwind, Weiswanger, Murray, Anderson, Caraday, Thornton, Manetveld, Henriksen, Vernolst down there. It's over in P33. Well, that's done. Should we skip the session? Because we can do that now. Let's go. Stephen King has his prediction in chat. Season 4, Morse, Burkhardt, Cranston, Ridley and Bailiff. Ooh, any order, he says. Those 5 in any order. I'm going to disagree. I think Stephen King's being modest. He's been in the top 5 every season so far. but he can't put himself because he doesn't want to appear self-centered, I guess. Skip session. It's only a couple minutes. Win it or bin it, team champion, says Andy Fox. Now that is a strong prediction and something that is definitely possible with their current lineup. Martin Wallace says he's not even in the running, but he does have a pole position stat to his name. We expected better of Bailiff. Yes. It's hard knowing everyone from their YouTube and Twitch names. But I'm glad chat's so busy. Anyway, 30 seconds until race 2 is underway. What's the best starting cam? It's got to be this one, hasn't it? What's this one? No. Right, let's stick with this one. Mayrek, Burkhardt, Dempsey, Otley, Farr, Ridley, Downing, Morse, Germany, depart. That's true, Martin, that is true. We'll do that every week. I'm sure we'll reach 100 messages every week with this amount of spam. And away they go. The feature race is underway. It says 24 laps in the top of your screens as they all go down towards turn 1. And it looks like Andre Mayrek is going to lead the way, so he holds on to the lead. And they all come through. I heard a little bit of contact there. That's not the camera we want because they're not there yet. There they are, coming through turn 3. That's Jake Cranston and Stephen Burns side by side. But your leader, Andre Mayrek, has got Morgan Burkhardt all over the back of him. This is what it looks like behind Andre Mayrek. Just being pushed at the moment. Nothing doing through the fast uphill right-hander. Gets a bit of a push from the reigning champion, does Andre through there. Bailiff and Depart are side by side behind as well, I think. Oh, that looked like Corpus was about to make an almighty send into the West Bend. Jake Cranston and Bailiff side by side. Contact with the two of them on the exit. That's a Pulsar's car round. That is the number 11 of Stephen King. Bye-bye, Stephen. Down the order he goes, and that is the end of that for him as he gets a rear contact. Oh, that's the Lurchus Gaming car sideways as well. Goes into the Viking Raiders car of Joseph Gibson. Contact, a little bit of a squirm, and Morgan Burkhardt is about to take the lead of this race down in towards turn 1. He does get it done round the outside, but I want to see what happens with these two. Corpus and Gibson spin. That looked tactical to me. That'll be slightly annoying if Joseph Gibson did that on purpose. I know it's media day. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Jan, for that. I know it's media day, but if Joseph Gibson did that on purpose, he cannot lose his head like that in official races, or the season won't be very long, unfortunately. Dan Thornton and Donnie Henriksen have had a crash as well already. How Donnie Henriksen down his inside. Dan Thornton turns in. That looked a little bit more Dan Thornton's fault this time than the previous one from that angle that we just watched it at. Not going to watch a replay, but that's what it looked like. The first one, who was it? Eric Manenveld? I put that one on Eric from the angle that we saw. But that one looked a little bit to me like Donnie was there for enough time for Dan to maybe predict it. Not sure. Tell me what you think in chat. As the timing screens, as I said, should go a little bit skew-iffy. When I show a replay, Stephen King is not in the lead. He is at the back of the pack. It should fix itself when Morgan Burkhardt crosses the line in the lead of this race. And it hasn't, so maybe we have to wait another lap for it to fix itself. Just remember Stephen King is at the back. Anyway, Henry Morse and Farr swapping over side by side. I think that's Morse down the inside. Ridley also trying to pass Austin Farr there as well. He's going to be on the outside for turn 2. Tricky corner to pass on. You've got to trust the car on your inside. Look at these two. Jake Cranston is trying to get past the bandit, John Bailiff. Not calling him that myself. It says it on his number plate. And Stephen King is into the pits with a meatball, I think. That's a lot of carnage. Andy Fox says, I did kill someone on a cold curb in boring cars this week, so I feel one per week is enough. Oh, look at that. Dan Downing swoops round the outside of Kyle Ridley there. That was a really strong exit from the Goldwing machine up the road. Patrick Dupart is blinking a little bit in front of Teemu Toika, the Pulsar Esports car, going back to their white livery this season. Dan Downing all over the back of Joshua Germany. I think Joshua Germany might have a slowdown. That's the only reason that he could be going that slow into turn 1, because he lost nearly another position. Let's go on top of Jake Cranston's car. Carl Ridley's gone through. John Bailiff has gone through. Let's go a bit further back. That's Teemu Toika. He is losing positions, is Joshua Germany here. So he's had one strong race, and now it's time to go back to form. What position is he in? He keeps hold of P11. Patrick Dupart in P12. Looking to get past him. Jan Weissbringer says, I managed to miss him hitting Caraday. I did indeed. Although you are on track by yourself, and Caraday is up in 26th. So maybe Caraday survived as we jump on board with Caraday. Who's he passing there? That's Corpus and Thornton. Whoa! Corpus and Thornton. Corpus is off into the wall. Caraday says, thank you very much. Thank you muchly. Where is Dan Thornton? Dan Thornton is having an absolute nightmare. He's gone to the pits. David Corpus, is he still in the wall? He's going to be wounded. Oh dear, what a feature race. It's lap 5 already. People are allowed to pit stop from this point. The rules, to remind people who maybe haven't watched the Jetta Cup before, so this is the final race of the evenings. We have a practice session which only gets broadcast for about 5 minutes. Then we have a qualifying session which is 8 minutes long. They can do as many laps as they want in that 8 minutes as they can. They're all out on track at the same time. Then they have a sprint race which tends to be around 15 minutes, but it is based on laps depending on the circuit. For example, Virginia International Raceway, which is going to be a long one, if I remember rightly, is only a 6-lap race. The sprint race is then followed by a quick break and then a feature race which tends to be about twice as long. As we see Patrick Dupart come into the pit lane, Teemu Toika defending or serving a slowdown there. Yeah, the sprint race, the feature race, sorry, tends to be twice as long, and there is a pit stop. They're all forced to do one pit stop or they will run out of fuel. They don't have to change tyres, but the fueling is so important. In fact, you will be able to see how important it is. I'll get the pit lane times up at some point. Some people gain massive amounts of time on people in the fueling, because if you just wait for the full 1 gallon to be put in, you will lose out a good couple of seconds to those that untick the fuel box a little bit early. But those that untick run the risk of running out of fuel towards the end if they've miscalculated, as we've seen so many times. Full schedule is on the website if anyone's wondering, says Stephen King. Jan Weissbanger says it was Corpus, it was a dark car. I can't find the website. Oh, did we just catch it, Jan Weissbanger? Did you preempt it happening and make me go to it? That was a clever of you. That can be done, but do not tell me that I missed stuff when I know that I missed stuff. Here we go. Greg Otley round the outside. Austin Farr down his inside. Who's going to come out on top down towards turn 2? It's going to be... Oh, he's going to hold it, is Austin, or is he? Because Greg Otley's going to swoop in now. Yeah, Austin did a little break. Did you see his little brake lights come on? Dan Downing is now going to try and pounce. Surely no one will run out of fuel in this race, though. That makes me think that you did that, Andy Fox. Why? Oh, Austin Farr and Dan Downing side by side through the sweeper. That is great stuff from those two. Not to spin out. Stephen King's had a crash somewhere. Coming up on my screen, says he's jumped to the pits. I wonder if he's done that by himself. Dan Downing's still trying to pass Austin Farr. He's under pressure from Ridley and Bailiff, the Win It or Bin It boys behind. What's happened to Stephen King? This is going to be a give up, I think. Yeah, looks like it. It keeps saying me that people have crashed and these people are just pulling over and then getting on with their day. Anyway, this is where we left off. Jake Cranston was on the grass. He's going to try and look at Bailiff, but can't. Nothing doing through there. This is Dan Downing's car. He's got Austin Farr. Oh, is this a slowdown for Dan Downing? I think it might be. Oh, no, he's going into the pits, as is John Bailiff. They both come into the pits. Let's stay on board with John Bailiff as we come into the pit lane. Got the little alarm bells going. In the pits they go. Is anyone going to change their tyres? I'm not sure. Does he get any wheel spin as he pulls away? Let's have a look. Patrick Dupart has already stopped, I believe. And he's coming down the main straight now. Gjesdal has already stopped as well. But we should see Patrick Dupart come flying past John Bailiff. There he goes, the ORD machine, who has already pit stopped. So John Bailiff comes out behind. Dan Downing, though, comes out in front of Patrick Dupart, the Polish driver. After that pit stop phase, Andy Fox has come out the pits as well. Marcus Gjesdal and Donny Henriksen just coming into turn 1. So I wonder who's going to pit next. Morgan Burkhardt, who still continues to lead this race, is continuing on lap 8 of 24. And Joshua Germany is coming into the pit lane to serve his pit stop. I said about pit times. Let's have a look at the full pit lane time of those that have stopped already. So Downing is your lead pit stopper at the moment with a pit stop time of 34.1 seconds from the start of the pit lane to the end. Well done, everyone. You've reached 100 messages in chat. That took longer than expected with the amount that you guys have been talking, but there it is. John said he took too much fuel. So Joshua Germany's pit stop time when he leaves the pit lane. Let's have a look. He's going to come out in front of Downing or side by side. Patrick Dupart's going to try as well. Joshua Germany and Dan Downing side by side on pit exit. Can Josh keep his nose there? He's going to be on the outside of turn 2. Is he going to run down wide? He does not. Dan Downing on the inside of 2. Tries to brake late. There's door-to-door contact. Josh is still there. He has his nose for turn 3. Is he going to quit? No, he's not. He bounces over the curb, though. Loses a bit of grip from that. And Dan Downing gains that position. Now Patrick Dupart slots in behind. Let's go back to pit stops times. Joshua Germany, 33.0, 1.1 seconds quicker than Dan Downing stopped. But Patrick Dupart, the quickest pit stop out there so far with a 32.6. And Josh is all over the back of Dan here into the West Bend chicane. Can he get a switchback and a better exit? I don't know if he... Oh, it looks tidy. It does look tidy from Joshua Germany, but I don't think he's got the exit. We've seen a few more drivers come in. Henry Morse's pit. Otley is pit. Maninfeld's pit. Van Olster's pit, and Henry Morse's pit stop is a 30.5, a new fastest pit stop time out of everyone. And now compare that to the average pit stop of 34 seconds. Henry Morse has gained 4 seconds in the pit stops. Josh showing why he should be team leader, says Stephen King. Think I had enough for another 11 laps at the end, says Andy Fox. Put way too much fuel in. We're on lap 10 of 24, and we've got nearly, just over a third of the grid by the looks of it, who have pit. Lap 10 of 24 approaching the halfway stage in 2 laps time, but Joshua Germany struggling to get past Daniel Downing now. But Henry Morse with a 30.5 second pit stop. That seems quite quick compared to some of the other guys. If we have a look at the actual stoppage time. So there's your fueling numbers. So the number on the left, your 32s, your 30, your 34s, that's how long they went from pit lane start to pit lane end. Your second number, where it shows 7.5, 10s, 9s, 8s, that's how long they were stationary getting their fuel. So you can see Henry Morse actually didn't gain that much compared to Greg Otley's 7.6. They both had a very close pit stop time, which means 2 seconds of Henry Morse's pit stop was all on entry and exit. Insane the amount of difference that takes. We're going to be looking at that closely this season because I find it fascinating, the difference in pit stops. Anderson on his debut in the Jetta got a 9.3 second stop, which isn't too bad. Dupart got an 8.7. So there you can see that your averages, and it's all about risk versus reward. Have Otley and Morse underfueled, or have they just absolutely nailed the pit stops? We can't find that out until the end of the race. Patrick Dupart seems to be in a safe place with 8.7. Everybody else 9s and 10s a little bit slower. And Gibson and Thornton definitely fine with their 1 minute pit stops. I think my time will be really bad. I forgot to tick fuel on, says Jan Weisfang. I'm not sure when he's going to pit. I'm going to hide it for now so that we can get back on with the racing. Dan Thornton and Henry Morse together on circuit. Henry Morse looking to to lap Dan Thornton, I think, at this point. Dan not making it easy for the P16 driver who has already pitted. And Morgan Burkhardt, though, continues on. 0.8 seconds in the lead. So Majorek and Dempsey playing it smart here. They're still in the slipstream of each other. We've passed the halfway phase. Remember, the sprint race was 14 laps, so you would assume that you can't do much more than 14 or 15 laps on one tank of fuel. That's normally how it works in the Jetta Cup, mathematically. Whatever the sprint race is, we won't see many people go beyond that in the feature race before they stop. It has to be between lap 5 and that, I think. As we see a few more come into the pits. Andy Fox might see a few drivers come out in front of him. I think that's Ika Lequay up the road. Corpus still in pit exit. And DB? Who's DB? Oh, is that... Oh, the initials will be showing David Benitez, that's why. I should change that. Stephen King mentioned it in the Discord, but the Barber pit entry is a belter. Big opportunity to gain / lose time. The whole final section at Barber is like that, to be honest. I've already heard people discussing strategies on how to take it wide or tight. Oxid says the first stint was so sweaty trying to hold on to Morgan, but you are doing a fantastic job, Andre Majorek, right behind him, as Duncan Murray shows a 9.7 stop, 11.8 for Thornton. So hopefully, by mentioning these pit stop times, which I don't think I've done too much of before in previous seasons, you could find some little wins if you haven't already. You can know where you're losing a little bit of time. I know obviously if it's pace where you're losing time to everyone, then it'll be a little bit different. But in terms of making a quick gain of 4 or 5 seconds in the race, have a look at these pit stop times or practice these pit stops, because it seems like there are gains to be made. Jake Cranston started this race in P12, hasn't stopped yet. Currently in P5. Sebastian Holmichael is up in P6 without stopping, the number 69 meatball machine, and Ruslan Kamadulin is enjoying himself as well for ZFG, up in P7. Dizzying heights for the UAE driver. As we see more people in the pits. Stephen Burns, just as I said it, pops in chat and says Holmichael in P6 needs a mention. He does indeed. And Andy Schwind in P8. Jan Weiswanger in P9 as well. I think he's the last of the non-stoppers. So Henry Morse currently leading the way of the pit stoppers. And there we see the final few drivers come in. So Henry Morse, where is he going to come out? Stephen King says, look at all those flags, only for the English. That's a reference to a driver leaving us at some point saying this league is only for English people, when we pride ourselves on having so many flags. And I'm not taking credit for it at all. I'm just glad you all keep showing up, to be honest. Weird little community, not gonna lie, but fun at times. And that is more. Is that Morgan Burkhardt way out there in the lead? Andy Gushwind, he hasn't stopped. Andy's going to go again. No way is Andy that good on saving fuel. Henry Morse has come out 2.7 seconds behind. Kieran Dempsey comes out in P3. And this is where the order goes back to kind of normality. Holmichael is out the pits. He's down in P19. Ruslan is down in P20 now. Let's have a look at those pit stop times and pit lane times, so you can have a comparison. Let's have a quick comparison on lap 16 of 24 whilst we're on board with, let's go on board with Marcus Gjesdal, who can see Donnie Henriksen in his view up ahead. I corked up my pit stop, unchecked it too early and had to recheck it. Andy doing the Thomas Burling strats with Stephen King. Yes, he's going to lead a lap, but at what cost? Did he run out of fuel? I'm not sure. Viking Raiders debutant Marcus Gjesdal on board. Donnie Henriksen up ahead of him, showing him the lines for Masters of Torque. So, these pit stop times. Who's got the fastest stop? Henry Morse with the 7.5 is still looking like the strongest stop. 7.6 as well for Otley, and 7.9 for Corpus. 3 drivers only with a 7-second stop. And then you've got the... I don't think Henry Morse is going to be beaten. Should we do a fastest pit stop award this season? I think that could be fun. Henry Morse with a 30.5. Although I don't want people to... Maybe I won't do that because I don't want people to just mess up their pit stops on purpose just for a quickest pit stop award. So scrap that idea. I'll just mention it maybe. 30.5 seconds seems... does he run out of fuel? This seems too quick because the next nearest ones are all 32 seconds. So he's gained 2 seconds from somewhere, has Henry Morse. But it wasn't enough. He's 3.3 seconds back from Burkhardt, who did start in P2, to be honest. I've forgotten where Henry Morse started. Where did Henry Morse start? 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. P8 Henry Morse started, so he's up 5 positions. No, 6 positions. Good maths. 37.5 says Andy Fox. That's where it's at. Closest fight on circuit is between a few drivers. We have this little gaggle of cars behind Martin Wallace. He's being followed by Murray and Manintveld. And then we've got Dan Downing chasing down John Bailiff in P9 and 10. Cranston is all over the back of Ridley. I say that as they go side by side down towards the West Bend chicane. Jake Cranston round the outside of the Australian driver. Through the chicane they go. Does he get a slowdown as he cuts that curve? Carl Ridley tried his best. They went side by side through there, but Cranston up into P6 round the outside of Carl Ridley through the West Bend. He's going to be hoping it's a slowdown, and now we'll be able to tell if Jake Cranston loses all of these positions, although I don't think he is serving it, so it looks like he didn't get one. Although, here we go, this will be able to tell. Does Greg get through as well? If Greg does get through as well, I would say he served it on the outside of the corner. No, it does look safe. Look at that. Dan Thornton has had another crash. And Carl Ridley, as we saw, does get back past Jake Cranston. And now Jake's going to move to the inside of the West Bend chicane. This is going to be opportunistic if he can send it down on the brakes. Can't get it done through there. There's a tree. We love a tree. Carl Ridley comes down the hill. Jake Cranston still behind as they go down towards the final corner. Henry Morse is in the pit lane again. So he did underfuel. That will be why his pit stop was 2 seconds quicker than everyone else. I thought Andy was referencing himself, but Henry Morse has done goofed as the Calypso spoon racing machine of Street Casuals driver Henry Morse. He won't be doing that too much this season. He knows that he can win these sorts of things. He's currently fighting Jake Cranston 1 point at a time in the Boring Car Championship. And I'm sure he'll want to take it to Jake in this prestigious diesel event as well. We know Morgan Burkhardt will do his best. Started 33rd in the first race, got up to P12. Started second in this race. Sorry, P11 he got up to. Started second in this race. And then now he's up into first place. Ridley moves over. Is that a slowdown for Carl Ridley, or is he just defending strongly? He is defending strongly from Jake Cranston. He's fighting him. He's actually putting him through the work. And Jake Cranston can't go around the outside of turn 1, and it's risky, not just because he's Australian and he's got net code, but because he hates it when people go around his outside, and he's very good at shutting that door, is Carl Ridley. Shout out your favourite livery, says Stephen King. Watch me and Kieran end of lap 22, start of lap 23. Oh, orders, commands. Stephen King, top tier glazing. I don't know what that means. That's too Gen Z for me, Austin. Sorry. Don't get it. Duncan Murray's gone off track somewhere, but he's back on, so don't worry. He's survived. Haven't seen Duncan Murray much this race, actually. Where is he? Oh, he's down here. A lap down. Oh, he's in the field. That's why you can't see him. He's being lapped. It is the South African driver. He's got Manintveld behind him. I don't know my favourite livery, to be honest. I still think that this is a little bit of a work of art, the Meatball Motorsport livery. Can't remember who made it. As we see Ruslan pass Andy Fox there. Not sure what corner that is. Oh, it's the final turn. Onto the main straight as we see Duncan Murray come into the pits. I think he's had enough. Man at Veld and McQuay. Ruslan's got to slow down. So everyone goes back past him. Kyle Ridley and Greg Otley. No, not Kyle Ridley and Greg Otley. Jake Cranston and Kyle Ridley have continued their fight. And Jake Cranston has got past the Australian driver up into P5. Andre Majorek is chasing down Kieran Dempsey, as he said. He did say to give it a watch. And I did spot that they were 2 tenths apart. Kieran Dempsey dump trailers, I think that says. Dempsey dump trailers on the back of his car. Coming down towards the final turn. What's Andre Majorek going to do? Down the main straight they're about to go. Can he get it down the inside? They're going to go side by side. Dempsey moves him over into the pit lane. Majorek on the grass. He has to give him room now. He knows he was still there. That was some commitment from Andre Majorek. Where did you learn that move? Sends it down the inside of turn 1. Oh, a little bit of a touch. Dempsey's going to hold it around the outside. Where's the drone cam? I want to see this from the top. Oh, okay, we'll watch it from far away. As Majorek comes around turn 2, he's going to keep his nose there on the inside of 3. He's not going to back out of this. I said he was the cleanest driver, but he's very good with racecraft at times. Here he goes, still side by side, but I think Dempsey is going to keep hold of it. On lap 23 they go, and Dempsey does keep hold of P2. The Irish driver having a super strong result here on media day, as is the Czech driver Andre Majorek. And I don't think it's over yet, because this is the closest fight on track. There's a 4-way fight down in P15, P14 even. Manentveld's got 4 cars right behind him. Dan Thornton, is that Thornton? No, it's not. It's Loic Thon is chasing down Gjesdal as well. So this is the next closest fight. There's a few battles going on out there. It's hard to keep up with all of them. I can't say Pulses is my favourite livery because obviously I'd be biased, but it is one of my favourite liveries actually this season, to be honest. The change from matte grey to white, going back to the original white livery from season 1, is nice, I think. I think it stands out a bit more, to be honest. The spoon livery is nice as well. The ORD livery is always strong. Win it or bin it and send it and bend it. I don't mind. I like the concept. I just hate lime green. I hate the lime green more on the win it or bin it cars than the send it and bend it cars, because I know the send it and bend it cars are mainly lime green, but the red and lime green is icky. But I'm going to say Meatball Motorsport. I'm going to stick with that one. ZFG is obviously a nice livery as well. I can't pick, man. They're all looking good. Duncan sent a stream in Discord earlier. Is the race over? Is it finished? Have I missed the end? I think I have. Morgan Burkhardt wins, guys. 6 seconds in the lead from Kieran Dempsey, who claims P2. It's a fake podium. Doesn't go on the stats. Andre Majorek finishes P3. Austin Farr comes home in P4. He's going to be a strong contender this season. I know he's not going to want the pressure. He's going to want to take it casually and not be mentioned and fly under the radar, under the radar, like he does for the previous couple of seasons. But there's no ignoring the fact that he regularly finishes in the top 5s, and that consistency, if other people fall apart, that consistency will put him in a strong standing for the championship, and I'm sure he's aware of that. Jake Cranston comes home in P6, struggled with a reverse 12 getting to P1, which is good to see, and I do think that we can thank this man in the win it or bin it car a little bit, who fought him quite hard. Is Jake Cranston going to have to work this season? I'm not saying it's been easy, but he does have a habit of getting into the lead, holding the lead. And he nearly won last season as well if he didn't take his little holiday to Dubai, which is fine. I don't mind him taking holidays to Dubai. You do what you want. Let's have a look at these results. The full results. Jake Cranston does not win this race. That's the heat race. Morgan Burkhardt wins this race. Your reigning champion, the number 1 car. I think Kieran Dempsey will be happy with that. A P2 for win it or bin it. It's going to be a strong team. It really is going to be a strong team. Andre Majorek for ORD claims a podium. Is that a double podium for ORD? I think it is, isn't it? That's a Depart and Majorek podium. They're going to be reasonable in the stat. Where did they finish in the team standings last season? Let's have a look, see. On the website, theracingline.org. Season 3. Teams Championships. So it was Pulsar Esports, Street Casuals, Project Dynamic, who aren't with us this season. Masters of Talk were 4th. Win It or Bin It were P5 last season. And they are looking strong to move up that order this season with their current lineup. Team ORD were P6 last season. They were mid-field team in terms of the teams championships. 12 teams on the grid, P6 for Team ORD. So it was actually a strong season for that team last season. I'm not saying that in a surprised way before Dan Thornton jumps down my throat in chat. It's just impressive. Team ORD, P6 out of 12. Can they improve on that this season? I mean, with Patrick's latest pace and Mayerek showing that he's still got it, I don't see why not. If they can keep that up regularly in the 7 rounds, it's completely possible. Win It or Bin It are going to be tough. I think if the Street Casuals boys can sort out their pit stops and back up their lead driver, Austin Farr, then they will also be in with a shout. Parallel Racing Group with the reigning champion might struggle with their current lineup. Loic Thon will be on a steep learning curve on his debut season, but I'm sure we'll see the pace from the Dutch driver. As the same goes for Ruslan as well in the UAE-driven Zero Forks Given car. Steep learning curve. Andy Geschwind, I think, has driven the Jetta a few times before, and he's absolutely not disappointed. Can we give a shout out, please? Look at this. So this final result, I have just noticed. So Austin Farr, Jake Cranston, Carl Ridley, John Bailiff, Stephen Burns, Patrick Dupart, Martin Wallace, P10. No real shocks there. Martin Wallace will be happy with the 10th, right? Yeah, oh look, there he is in chat. I'm just happy with my top 10. Yeah, that is a P10, Martin. But look who's behind you. Give that man a round of applause. Meatball Motorsports, Sebastian Hallmichael. Why is it media days? There's always a strong result, and then let's watch round 1. Watch round 1 go back to normal. Sebastian Hallmichael, if you can finish there regularly, very impressive performance in that feature race. Remember, it's same points I think for both races. Everybody gets points across the grid. 60 for a win, all the way down to 1 for 36th place. When everyone shows up, we look forward to welcoming Jesus Mundere back. We look forward to seeing Tim Rutten on the grid as his debut drive. Who else wasn't here? Oh no, I forgot the third one. Oh, Jerry. Was it Jerry? Can't forget Jerry Agard. We look forward to, of course, welcoming Jerry Agard back onto the grid as well. Mad John says Weeby double podium 2 and 6 top 10s. Yes. Who got the podium in the first one? Less impressive. Oh, John Bailiff and double P2s. Who is a dark horse underdog, says Duncan Murray. Realistically, Austin Farr is always the dark horse underdog. But he also seems content with finishing P5 in every Jetta Cup season. So maybe he's not hungry enough to finish higher than that. I said in the preseason testing day that Stephen Burns is my one to watch for the most improved driver this season. I do, and look at, as I say that, he's in P8 on that race. And in race 1, Stephen Burns was P13. So, where did he finish last season? Am I making it up in my head that Stephen didn't do well, and now he's going to do well? He's P19 overall out of 36, so almost bang on the middle, of the grid. I think he'll finish higher than that this season. But in terms of underdog for the championship, Morgan and Jake are always candidates. They're not underdogs. John Bailiff, second P7. Carl Ridley, can he keep it together? Dan Downing, can he keep it together? I know what the common opinion will be on that. There's a lot of quick guys out there, man. This is genuinely can't call it. There's 36 of you out there. and the pace differential is too close. I saw someone say that something happened towards the end. Andy Fox, 14 thousandths. Can I rewind and find anything that happened to Andy Fox? I want to see how close that was. I'm going to go back to this point. Kieran Dempsey entered the pit lane. That would have been after the race, surely. Let's go to that. Oh, that is after the race. This is also after the race. Oh, here we go. This looks like the last lap that we're about to go on to, or is it not? The map's broken now. Where is Andy Fox? There he is. Let's have a quick look. Just a quick one. I think this is the last lap. He's all over the back of Equiliquet. And he's got Geschwind behind him. Wasn't worth that amount of effort. Oh, cheers, Andy. Thanks for that. Thanks for saying that after we've rewound and found it. Is this the last lap or is it not? I don't know if this is. This isn't the last lap. 14 thousandths, you said. Now it's the last lap. Stephen Burns and Dan Downing as well. They're going to cross the line first, so let's go and have a look at them, and I'll hover over the other one as well. See if I can do both in one. Stephen Burns and Dan Downing first up. That is Joshua Germany off the road up the hill. Oh! Well, that was goofy. Took himself out, did Joshua Germany there. Trying to defend from Dan Downing, and Dan Downing continues on his way, as he should. That was worth a rewind. Let's see what happened to him. And here we go then. Dan Downing and Stephen Burns crossing the line. Oh, okay, so Stephen Burns would have finished ahead. And I bet these two show you how it's done. No contact. There you go. Perfect driving from Andy Fox and Equiliquet. Dan Downing. There was a few questionable things in that, to be honest, and I'm really, if that happens in Barber, I think you'll be shocked at the strictness of the penalties that you would get. But Dan Downing is on the radar for that. There was someone else who took someone else out. Oh, Joe Gibson looked like he had a reaction to someone earlier on. Joe Gibson, Dan Downing. Dan DQ'd himself. Great news. I don't know why. If he knew he had that amount of X's, I don't know why he took the risk. Unless he didn't know that he was... Maybe he thought it was a drive-through. But, anyway. Your media day winners. Let's update this. There we go. Cranston and Burkhardt. Take your media day. Fleece says just Josh things. Yes. Just Josh things. Is there anyone in the interview room? Anyone want to chat? No one's in the interview room. Ah well. I'm not going to pretend to do interviews today. I can't do the accents. Thank you all for joining us for the Media Day stream, the Chaos stream, where everybody was crashing after the line and stuff like that. It's been great fun. I feel like I want to watch the intro one more time because I can't get over the remix at the end. But I also think we need to get into the habit of ending the stream properly, don't we, Mad John 88B? Why have you got 2 accounts? Is that what that B stands for? Beta account. Quality broadcast this. Strong arm. Yes, that is pretty much it from me. I'm going to see you all next Friday after round 1 for Barber Motorsports Park, where the points are actually on offer. It's about to get serious. The Jetta Cup Season 4 is about to begin. Media Day is over. Can't wait to see the pictures. Everyone's teams, etc. Every car is looking good, and the racing was great quality as usual. Just the antics afterwards need a little bit of fixing, but we'll move on from that. As usual, it's all great to see you. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on The Racing Line. Peace!